Welcome to the Tradex Foods 3-Minute Market Insight. Some fast facts to start your week. The 2012 Troll King Salmon fishery is gaining momentum, leaving buyers looking for price relief. There have been spot openings to date for Troll King Salmon with prices to wholesalers at $8 to $9 a pound. Alaska Troll King fishery reopened May 1st along with California, Washington, and British Columbia. As reported previously, Oregon Troll King fishing is already underway. It is expected as production increases, prices will soften. However, at this point, processors report mediocre harvests. Distributor prices range between $8 and $8.50 by the end of last week. In roughly 2 weeks, the 2012 Copper River Sockeye season will begin near Cordova, Alaska. The Copper River Sockeye have long been prized for their exceptional high quality and have yielded some of the highest wild salmon prices in Alaska. The fish have a very high oil content and are processed with the highest attention to quality. According to local sources in Cordova, there may be a delay in the opening as the river is frozen over and the Alaskan Department Fish and Game fish counters are covered by a layer of ice. Fishing is determined by ADFG. Monitored escapements in a frozen river may delay openings for the fishery. Given current economic conditions, will the 2012 Copper River fish be met with all the fanfare of previous years? Helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft have in the past transported fish from the fishing grounds of Cordova for immediate delivery to Seattle and other major markets, with prices nearing $20 a pound. The ADFG forecasts a run of 2.15 million Copper River Sockeye for 2012 and an expected harvest of 1.43 million fish. Now let's move on to halibut inventories. There continues to be a huge price gap between 2012 halibut and remaining 2011 inventory. It should translate that 2011 inventory priced at or below current grounds prices should be moving briskly. However, expensive 2011 halibut inventory is moving slowly and is growing concern for many packers and inventory companies. Grounds prices in Canada for 10 to 20 pound fish is $7.20 a pound, with Alaskan prices sitting at $6.25. Here's some news out of China. More troubled times are ahead for the tilapia farmers and processors in China. Up to 30% of the tilapia farmers in China have not and will not be restocking the ponds with new fry. The poor market condition may have made farming for many processors unsustainable. Processors advise the economic pressures are considerable as is the disease. With up to 50% of tilapia dying during summer months from streptococcus bacterial outbreaks, farmers have chosen to deplete current stocks and restock with different species. There is no effective vaccine available to prevent streptococcus. Antibiotic treatments are only partially effective, and antibiotic residue would make product unacceptable for food markets. Outbreaks usually occur when the fish are subjected to changing water temperatures. In China this is from July to September. Farmers and processors are now preparing to stock one of the domestically consumed freshwater aquaculture species. These species include 6 varieties of carp, eel, shrimp, and turtle. Tilapia currently accounts for roughly 4% of aquaculture in China, while carp, for instance, accounts for 75%. This is aquaculture for domestic China sales. Farmers see growth potential in eel farming, which is currently only 1% of Chinese aquaculture production. When looking at this situation globally, buyers should expect considerable changes by summer of 2012. The drop in tilapia production, when added to Vietnamese pangasius output falling as processors struggle to raise hundreds of billions of Vietnamese dollars to offset the tens of billions of Vietnamese dollars shortage created by the bank's lending strategy, will likely lead to either shortages or higher prices moving forward. Chinese salmon processors are reporting extremely high inventory levels of chum salmon at costs that are considerably over market prices. The European Seafood Exposition did not stimulate the salmon business processors were targeting, and it has left many processors with few outlets remaining for their products. One processor we spoke to reported to have 5,000 metric tons of raw material that is uncommitted. We canvassed several chum processors in China to gain perspective on the market pricing, but were left with the impression that there is no concrete market on this product. Prices for the same specification products had a variance of 70 cents per pound. It's a buyer's market on chum salmon, and as an inventory speculator, this is one species that should be handled very carefully. The 2012 chum season is approaching quickly. With hundreds of thousands of pounds still in North America unsold and millions of pounds in China unsold, it's likely to be a very challenging year for chum salmon harvesters and processors in North America. It is apparent that Alaskan processors have a plan of their own, as 2 confirmed hatchery bids were accepted in Alaska at $1.62 and $1.65 for round fish to be harvested in June, 50 cents a pound higher than last year. Finished H&G prices would be around $2.25 based on this pricing. The answer has to be in the roe, and as the Japanese Akura market is lackluster, processors must be looking to other foreign roe markets to justify this pricing. Thank you for joining me for the Tradex Foods 3-Minute Market Insight. This is Robert Reierson. Buy smart and eat more seafood.